Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I've timed this at least kind of well. And I think we're going to be ready by the time I'm done recording this. I'm trying to do this all in one bit because the editing together has been the problem. So I'm going to make our arrival top of the thing. So go ahead and stop. And stop. All right. And there's your recap. And undeafening we go. Alrighty.
Yep.
I can't remember for the life of me what I said about the red dragon in my commune. Oh no.
I, it's been a couple weeks since I watched it, but I was like, it's basically still an imminent danger. Like, you got
It's a threat, potentially.
spooky vibes from the Moon Maiden on that one.
Yeah, she confirmed that your returning to town does present a risk that the dragon will return.
Right. Got it. That's it's like it's a non-zero risk, which is like okay. Fitness.
Did I just hear someone say Fitmus Robor?
Yeah, I just read the name. Read the name.
Oh, is it in the
Fitmus.
recap? I wasn't paying attention.
Try if I know the names to put them in the recap so that we have them for our notes.
So,
Lights
if
out.
we're ready,
Yep. Recap recorded and everything.
so we ended our last session at breakfast
What was that?
in the Peasley, and you have the whole day ahead of you. There's no urgent quest before you, but there is the looming threat of a red dragon with no current leads. What are you gonna do?
Totally not panic about that.
Yes.
Apparently, someone drew a heart on the path in front of the Peasley.
Nobody is currently that color.
I don't know who did that. I'm trying to highlight it.
It's two-part. I can move it.
It's gone now.
What? Who's staying on the couch?
You, because of last week's emotional damage.
Oh, I'm not sleeping on the couch. Sorry, I just read for some. No, I did not. I was allowed. You know,
Okay, good.
we don't have a doghouse, so that was helpful.
No, it's not very helpful.
I mean, there are 2 dog beds in the room, but if you squished them together, they might be big enough to fit you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've survived. I think the emotional damage was processed.
Kill me off quicker next time.
It's hard to kill rogues, man. I threw everything I had at you.
Especially for
Set to
all
drop
dex
Candlekeep
saves.
on
Yeah.
her.
No, in hindsight, dex saves were not the way to go. But here I am thinking, well, I don't know how many d6s it will take, but I have a lot. Anyway, what are we doing? We're at the Peasley. We're at the
Yeah. Most of us ate breakfast at the homestead before we left. So we've just met Countess Marina and we're sitting here
Yep.
figuring out the day.
I'm just kind of keeping an eye on Rasa and probably talking in her head a little bit. Trying to read the room. It's not really my forte.
Mm. I believe Marina is just fawning over Oste, and Yeren is probably buddied up to Dusk and, having morning coffee conversation. And I'm pretty sure LaSalle is being mothered by Maiev, and Jocelyn is probably just sitting back enjoying a quiet breakfast.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Is bring me here?
Behind the bar, as always.
I'm gonna go over to her and kind of ask how's the rebuilding going and who's in charge of that? Who do I talk to about that?
Oh, well, I suppose Mr. Stumblepump would be the person you're looking to talk to. He's been, he sent messengers out to pretty much the whole trade road to find people to come in and help rebuild. And they've been showing up, piecemeal here and there. He's got quite a crew out there now.
I don't know if Snaps would have seen. Otherwise, she's gonna ask, like, is there still debris from the Southern Theater? Like, was that like being collected, or has that been taken away?
Oh, yeah, they pretty much did the cleanup in the first day or two with just local folks.
Okay. Is
And
there
they,
like,
just
do we know
started
what they did with
rebuilding
it?
right away. I don't know what they did with it. I imagine it was either, uh, taken out and burned, whatever was left, or buried.
Okay, I might ask about that. Thank you. I'm gonna
Sure.
like go back to the others and suggest if there's any debris left over, we can maybe search it for. I put it in the chat so I wouldn't forget, but like scales or something the dragon might have shed, or maybe something that has been scorched by the dragon fire to try to scry and find the dragon. Maybe it's a long shot.
I would probably help with that endeavor if we're going to be over there surveying the damage, anyways.
She'll suggest that. I don't know if we are doing anything else here at the Peasley, but that's kind of what's on her mind when we leave.
I think Dusk would just be sort of tagging along with the Peasley and just sort of on. It's probably preoccupied with what's flying overhead of us. Just his mind's definitely on any looming danger. Now that things are kind of quiet, Dusk is still. It's been a long journey that we've been on this, going around the trade road, and I don't think he's quite let down his guard. So he's very much tense.
I think the Momdar is probably in full effect at the moment. If I look up and look around the Peasley, do I see Gilly?
Not this early in the morning.
It is quite early. Quite early. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna uh I'm gonna finish making sure Lasal gets most of her breakfast in her mouth, and then I'm gonna slink away for a minute.
Okay, I am at your mercy. You tell me what's happening.
Um, Back in those fucked up caves, one of the painfully clear memories that I saw was Gilly seated on the floor in the middle of their room at the Peasley, so I'd like to go try to find their room.
You're gonna go wake Gilly?
Not
Just checking.
abrasively. I just want to see if I can find Gilly's room and maybe just kind of peek my head in.
You know where Gilly's room is because I believe you were on the stairs when Gilly was uh, bringing Jean back to her senses.
Yes, I think that sounds accurate. Um, bum, 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 bum. I am not the sneaky one nor the sleight of handy one, but mm, yeah, we're just gonna lean into the mom thing and try the handle of Gilly's door and see if it comes open quietly, just enough for me to peek in and see if they're asleep.
I'm sorry. Say that again, please.
We're gonna lean into the mom thing and try the handle of Gilly's door to see if it will come open just enough for me to peek in and make sure that they're still sleeping.
Um. Uh. Yes, I know. I said I was going to respond quickly to things, but I need a minute for that.
Okay. I'm not usually the one making you think on your feet, so I guess asking for a minute for that is quite fair.
Okay. Your knob turns.
Cool, 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 cool. Okay.
Your knob
Um,
turns.
that's what's up. Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like peek my head in, see if they're sleeping.
You see the one very small one person bed against the wall and an enormous pile of what appear to be hand woven cloths and fabrics of rough texture in the shape of a pile of blankets piled upon that bed.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Well, I
I don't-
wanted to do it slightly differently, but and she's just kind of muttering to herself quietly with her head peeked through the door. I'm trying to do it quietly. Okay, wait a minute. There's a thing. And she's going to start pointing around the room, starting with the pile of blankets
Mhm.
and going, Gilly, are you awake? And casting message as she goes. So it's, Gilly, are you awake? Pointing at the pile of blankets that may or may not have a Gilly under there. And
Yes.
then just
Immediately, the
finally,
pile of blankets flies up into the air, and out from it flies a hawk in that is shades of greens and reds and flapping wildly uh, and awkwardly, like it's having difficulty identifying which way is up. For just a moment, it shoots up out of the blankets and flaps like wild, and then eventually rights itself and faces you, and then settles on the floor, and then bloop, there's Gilly.
oh, whoa, 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 what? Okay, whoa. Uh, Hi, Gilly.
You
I
startled
didn't mean to
me.
scare you. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I
Well,
did not
this
mean to
is
scare
where
you.
I sleep, and sleeping is what I was doing. Are you all right?
I didn't mean to scare you. I guess it kind of occurred just to me now that it probably would have woke you up if you were sleeping. I know it's early. I'm sorry.
Good
I'm
morning,
sorry.
my
Good morning. We're back. We
I can see that.
Yeah. We have two new friends with us that I'm pretty sure are gonna love you because we love you. I, I, I shouldn't have woke you up. I'm sorry.
And Gilly sort of settles on their feet, and to the feet that were practically on tippy toe and alert. They settle down onto flat foot, and the stance relaxes into a more natural, uh, you know, 8-12 inches apart posture with the feet. Um, there's a slight sway as they tilt their head forward and really examine you to make sure that you've got your wits back together after having been startled by their startled response. You have new friends.
Yeah, yeah. We have some new friends. That was really
And
cool. I didn't know
I'm
you could do
sorry.
that.
Uh, oh, yes. Uh, well, it was unplanned and unintentional. I was dreaming. Sorry, but good. New friends. And they begin looking around their room nervously, like suddenly realizing the awkwardness of nobody knows, and now somebody knows. And how am I going to manage this? And okay, let's go meet your friends. And they approach you and the doorway, gesturing for you to exit the room first as they look around nervously around the room.
Okay. Well, Maya would have been like backing away from the door as they were resettling themselves and making sure that Maiev was still Maiev in the brain. as she was saying that was really cool. I didn't know you could do that. Was really cool. I shouldn't. I'm sorry I woke you up. My bad. You know, do your morning time getting ready things. Take your time. I should not have woke you up. I'm sorry. I was just really excited because they're gonna love you. Okay. Well, we're downstairs with the grumpy, weird dragon lady that's been looking for Rasa. I think I left them alone too long.
Um,
Oh, poor
wait,
professor.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, Maev. You've confused me a little bit. The grumpy dragonborn is Rasa. Who else is downstairs?
oh yeah. I guess she's not really that grumpy. She made Rasa grumpy. There's the lady that's been around town apparently for some time. I don't know. I'm not real good at time. And she's like scratching her head, trying to remember how long they've been saying she's around town, but she doesn't really care.
Do
And
you mean Countess Marina
yeah, that one.
has made Rasa grumpy?
Well, I mean, I think everything's fine now. She told me everything was fine in my head when we stormed in, but that was probably, I thought it was just mostly so we wouldn't kill her. But
So you're
I
just
think
in a
everything's actually
storming
okay.
mood today.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This one's
Hey,
an excited one, though.
the other was not. Okay. You know what? Let's go downstairs. And they start sort of crowding you in the doorway to shove you out into the hall and pull the door shut behind them. Lead the way. Lead the way.
Okay, 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 okay. Let's go. Down we go.
And there is an absolute silence behind you as you descend the stairs.
Okay, interesting. So we're tootling down the stairs, and uh, I'm just kind of like sort of rambling a little bit, like, well, it's kind of like it's more her parents, not really the lady, because the lady seems kind of cool. I don't remember how long these stairs are. Uh,
It's just one flight of stairs, babe.
okay. Once we get down there, I'm like, guys, like super loud and obnoxious. I found Gilly, and I just kind of bring Gilly almost straight over to Samity and Aste. I'm like, this is the Gilly that I was telling you guys is super freaking cool, and you're gonna love him.
And they offer a bow in the direction of both Aste and Samity and a wink to Maiev. Thank you. You're so kind. Good morning. Good morning. Have you all been served food, beverage? Do you have what you need this morning?
Should have everything we need. Personally, anyways. Can't speak for the others. And he
And
will
I'm
give a bow
sorry,
back.
your name is. Did you get introduced as Professor or Aste?
I
He was called Professor upstairs, but when
Ah,
we approached the table, it was just, guys, this is Gilly.
okay. Well, it is a joy to meet you, and you are.
Do you want the
Have
whole name?
you? Yeah. Have you ever been given a description or an introduction to Gilly at all?
No.
Okay. So let's start with
Lay
that.
it on him.
Yeah, let me see if I can get to the image quicker than you can. Do you think?
I love that image so very much.
Layers. Other. I don't see a picture of Gilly at my fingertips, so you all are going to have to find them. So what you saw is from the stairs. Maiev came clomping down the stairs, talking back over her shoulder, and a figure behind her sort of effortlessly glides down the stairs behind her. There are layers and layers and layers of reds and greens and oranges of diaphanous see-through fabric that there is enough of it that it is no longer see-through, but each individual layer is see-through. Occasionally, a bare foot peeks out from under. Yes, that's the correct image.
I love this image so freaking much.
Interesting.
Making the gilly completely. I'm not sure I understand your question, Burris.
It's fine. We can deal with it later.
I
Okay,
don't know
cool.
if YouTube has seen Gilly, so there's Gilly YouTube.
There's Gilly YouTube. So the garments are diaphanous and flowing and layer upon layer upon layer, so you can't really tell. There could be pants under there, or it could just be layers and layers and layers of skirting. Um, the voice is very mid-range, not overtly feminine, not overtly masculine, just sort of there.
So an
Uh,
androgynous style person. Okay.
yes, completely. And they are elegant in the way that their movement is almost like air, almost like fluid. Um, their hips move in such a way to cause the diaphanous fabric to sway with every movement, sort of hiding the actual shape of the being underneath. There is a band, a metal band around their head that comes down to a point from which a green teardrop gemstone of some sort dangles onto the bridge of the, or to that spot between the eyebrows. Uh, that is the same shade of green as their eyes, and their gaze is piercing. You feel when they look upon you uh, that you are the only being in the room. If they are focused on you and you alone, you feel it. The weight of their attention is akin to um, not a warm hug, but as consuming as a warm hug. You just can't help but find them to be almost intoxicating. There's just something fabulous about this person. At least everyone around you is reacting to them that way. You may react to them differently, but everybody else, that's the experience they have had when they first met Gilly.
I see. Well,
Um,
they will get a bow back, and just as mm, noble of a greeting, I guess is the best way to put that. Like, you know, they gave me all of the sorts of pleasantries, so I'll offer that back. And I'll ask them how their
and
day was.
well, and the first thing that they said to you was, "And you are." So now
Ah,
you have to decide what you're
ah,
doing with
yeah,
the name thing. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, I'll ask them first if they want the whole name or just the first.
I will take what you will give, sir.
Very well. Then I am Aste Le Lunari, Serenti Galilore, Sestawe Nan Milui Tenu.
And Mayo's just gonna immediately lean in. It's a lot, isn't it?
Um, well, yes. Give me a moment. And the look on their face is that which you can tell they are trying desperately to use what little or how much language they may have to decipher what you've just said. And that would be, um, I'm going to say that they were able to decipher about 2/3 of the words that are
Well,
included in your name.
well, the first 2/3, because that's all name. The only title part is the last third.
Yeah, so that's then let's say that 2/3 of that
Oh,
they are able to figure out some of those words.
Seeker of the Beautiful Blank. We'll go with
Speaker of the beautiful.
blank.
Blank.
Just that's all they get.
Okay, so Speaker of the beautiful. Okay, so Billy, you say your name, and they're like, okay, one moment, and you can see there is a level of concentration that glides over their face, and then they say, "Seeker of what?"
Oh, are you asking that in common or in Elvish?
Um,
Because it's originally in Elvish.
mm, I'm gonna try celestial.
Celestial?
Yeah,
I
What?
actually know Celestial, but no, it's
cool.
originally in Elvish. In common, it's Seeker of the Beautiful Starlit Evening, if I remember rightly. I want to say that's what it is.
Oh, are you answering in common? Because they're
Yes,
asking in so they've
I can answer.
translated.
I can
Yeah,
translate in whatever. Uh,
yeah.
I-
So they've translated whatever you said into celestial in their head, and then spoken out to you in celestial of what? And you've
yes.
responded in common.
Well, like I said, I can speak back in whatever language they speak in.
You decide.
Yeah, so if they're speaking in Celestial, I can say in Celestial back, Seeker of the Beautiful Starlit Evening, and I just checked, and that's what it is.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, it's such a joy to meet you.
You as well.
And you, and Gilly will turn to Samity, and Samity will blush ferociously. Samity, Samity, hi. And there will be a brief exchange between them that we don't have to role play, wherein somebody clearly has fallen in love with Gilly in some way because, well, Samity was warned that that was going to happen. So Samity was already enamored before they even came down the stairs looking so fantastic. And Gilly is just as, you know, wonderful as Gilly can be.
And Maya was trying real hard not to let on the fact that she's more confused than normal by the next words coming out of Gilly's face after she leans in and goes, "It's a lot, isn't it?" Being exactly that there meme.
Booty blah blah.
And then before going back to make sure that LaSalle is still at least relatively clean after breakfast, she'll just lean over to Samity and be like, "I told you Gilly was awesome." And then tootle back off.
I have to fix a thing on my Gilly stuff. No, I don't. I'm the DM. It can be weird. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said?
Before going back to make sure LaSalle has truly finished her breakfast and is relatively clean, she leans
Ah,
down over to Samity and goes, "I told you Gilly was awesome," and just shoots her like a quick little wink and then wanders back over to the child.
And Gilly will at some point tuck their hands into a little pouch that they wear dangling from the midriff of this swishy fabric outfit and come back out rubbing her hands as if she's just put lotion on, rubbing their hands as if they just put lotion on,
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
reach out and greet each of the party, as is Gilly's custom, by a boop on the nose for uh, Snaps and a gentle pat on the cheek for Dusk and an offered handshake for Rasa, because we all know Rasa's not a big fan of touchy feely sometimes, and uh, and a pat on the shoulder for Maiev and a boop on the nose for the little girl. And, everybody gets some sort of physical touch. Um, and then she returns to Samity. They return to Samity and reach out and tap Samity on the forearm. Are you all right, dear? Do you have everything you need this morning? With a little gentle patting motion. Um, and then awkwardly just returns to Aste and holds out their hand, hoping that Aste will take it in whatever fashion Aste finds comfortable. Just sort of holds their hand out at an angle, so it's not a handshake vertical and it's not a feminine kiss my knuckles horizontal. It's just sort of diagonal.
Uh, okay, we'll take a hand. We will take a
And
hand.
whatever method by which you grab it, they will meld into the appropriate response, whether you're going to kiss a knuckle or shake a hand. But what you do notice is in the instant that your skin touches their skin, you do experience a feeling of well being, and you're satisfied. If you had even the slightest urge to eat a meal, you're all right with that. You'd be happy not to eat again for a whole day. But if food shows up, it would be lovely. But you are in no need of food or drink. And if you were down a hit point, you would have regained it just by being touched.
So that's gonna lead him to say, "Did you put on some sort of like goodberry lotion?"
Um, Good morning. Yes. Yeah. Uh, let's, uh, sometimes, the locals aren't as, and they've like leaned in conspiratorially alert as others and might not be aware of these kinds of things. And generally, I like to keep it quiet, if you don't mind.
I mean, that's fine. I was just curious. It's not something I'm not a blabbermouth. I was just curious.
Mhm. Convenient, thank you.
No, I was just curious. I've never seen the applications of this like this. It's interesting.
And Mayev's just
Foggy
gonna
has
pipe
a
up
tin
a
of it,
little
right?
bit. He's just a brainiac.
Uh, I know. Sorry, breaking fourth wall. I know Karnask has a tin of it. I don't think Foggy does.
Oh, so is it possible this party didn't know about Gilly Paste?
This is the first time that Snaps has known about it.
Ah, okay, cool.
I was gonna say, I think
Yeah, I
Dusk
don't think any
met.
of us would have been smart enough to discern it.
Yeah, I think the only time Dusk really interacted with Gilly was the very first time he arrived in Dybrook.
Yeah, cool. So this party is now aware that Gilly does something.
And the brainiac has a better idea of what it is that Gilly does.
So unless there's anything more anyone specifically wants or needs from Gilly, they will eventually just peter off into the kitchen and start their day.
Maya is just gonna, before, as they start to peter off into the kitchen, I'm really sorry I woke you up again. I feel really bad. I was really excited, but it'll be the into their head thing. I'm
Got it.
sorry. I'm really really sorry. I didn't mean it.
And
Didn't mean to scare
this is a you can reply to this message type situation, right?
you. Telepathic speech good for 2 minutes as long as we're within a mile of each other.
Yeah. So you'll hear back. I'm sure Bringwee's quite pleased to see me downstairs so early in the day. And off they go into the kitchen. And if you hang around long enough, you'll see them filtering in and out of the kitchen with, trays and cloth and wiping down counters and refilling juice and, managing the food stuff that's in the on the buffet that is the morning service breakfast.
Oh, sorry, headache.
Sorry.
Is there
Oh,
bacon?
There
is
is
there
always bacon.
All right.
Always bacon.
Definitely gonna grab some
Yes.
and the scroll case bacon?
That's a bacon case.
It is the bacon case. Um, and at some point, Maya will tear herself away from LaSalle and kind of scooch up next to Rasa and everything okie dokie.
Okie dokie. I have a letter to write. I just don't know what to write.
Okay. And then she like lowers her voice even more. And you're sure I don't need to kill her?
Yep. Don't kill the
All right,
messenger.
take your
That.
word. I'll take your word for it.
If I may, Marina pipes up. You could simply write, find yourselves in the 9 hells.
That I could.
Just saying, it's a choice you could make.
Lady Rosso could lie?
Who said anything about lying?
I was suggesting it as an instruction from Lady Rasa to her rather overbearing parents.
Oh, right. I was taking that literally.
Ah,
Well, did you at least have breakfast before you skedaddled over here, Lady Rasa?
Are there any fruit trees on the way over?
just the ones in your front yard.
Then yeah,
Oh,
I grabbed some fruit. We
all
did
right.
fine.
Figured it was easier to write letters on a full stomach. Is all. Well, glad this is all sorted out. Considering we walked all the way around the trade road. uh,
And Maya's slowly processing because it's Maya and still in mom mode. Would you go eat some breakfast, please? Terasa.
Let's go. Bacon's calling.
You could just decide to put some bacon in your waterproof scroll case for later. Make her eat it later. Waterproof bacon case.
Waterproof bacon case is being loaded. I should make sure that's what I named it. Nope, it says watertight scroll case.
How did we make it across the
How
continent?
many pieces of bacon?
Oh, wait a minute. It has scrolls in it.
Oh.
When did I get
Whoopsie.
A
scrolls?
little greasy, it's fine.
They're magical. They can't be destroyed by bacon.
What if the bacon's
You're right,
magical?
Dusk, and she continues to shove bacon in there.
They'll just be very greasy scrolls.
It'll be fine.
Well,
Scroll
what now, folks? After we get some chow. I don't know about
Well,
all of you, but I
yeah,
feel
you
like I got
first.
to be useful.
I don't have any particular plans right now. There's a conversation that's got to happen at some point in the semi-near future, but... And then he just shrugs.
Maya's gonna kind of look over at Foggy with that like half open mouth and like knowing surprise look, which makes no sense, but it's Maiev, so it sort of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. He's just gonna look at you and nod.
Well, I guess if we're figuring out what to do, I could go around and ask everyone if there's anything they want me to like try and get information on.
Oh yeah, you're a smarty pants. You could do this. You
Well,
did. Words are hard.
as it just so happens, since this is probably more in your wheelhouse, Professor, than anybody else's in town.
Wheelhouse?
Area of
Oh,
expertise.
so you don't have wheels in the Astral Sea, do you?
No, we have spelljammers.
Mm,
I think I
which
mentioned
don't
those to you
roll
before.
around.
No, they
Well,
don't.
You
anyway,
did.
They're like flying ships.
okay. Well,
So bacon is fine, but jam is bad. Okay, got it.
Don't ships have wheels to steer? Or so I've heard.
It has a
Isn't that a
steering
thing?
wheel, but it doesn't have driving wheels like a wagon wheel or anything like that.
They certainly don't fit inside a house.
right.
Yeah.
You don't have a house for wheels in space.
Yup. Yup.
Anyways, I, as you know, we were traveling with that wolf sculpture that has left an impression on me. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. I want to be able to display it proudly and all. And I like the sculpture, like the art, but I don't
I mean,
necessarily want people to feel the things. And I think our attempts at disenchanting it have been unsuccessful so far. So I don't know if there's like something that maybe you would know more of, or maybe that working with the Audreys. I don't know if the daytime Audrey would know anything about disenchanting, but just just something so that when people look at it, they don't get all razzed up and
uh,
you know.
well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was worried for a second that you were actually proud of having a piece of furniture with a soul in it. But, um, beyond that, I could try dispelling it, but I don't know how much success that will have.
all
I
all
could give it
attempts.
a few attempts if you want. I mean,
Sure, when you have the
it's
time.
not like we're under duress right now. I can give
Right,
some of my arcana towards it.
right. I figured if I had time, but I don't know
Mhm.
how much time we'll spend at the theater. I think
Mm,
we're interested in. I know Snaps is interested in searching the rubble for any
right.
evidence of Mr. Dragon that decided to
If there's
torch
any
it,
if
Well,
there's any rubble left.
I guess
and
I'll
I'd like
put
to
it.
help with some prep with the carpenter side of things. flex me carpenter skills a little bit.
Well, let's just put it as my best idea is that I'll try some dispel magic uses
All right.
upon it. You just let me know when's the best time to do that.
Oh, we can do that tonight. That's fine.
That sounds
We'll get a good fire going, and we'll
Mhm.
try and disenchant the beast.
Sounds good. Anyone else?
Like,
Not off the top
what
of my
kinds of
head.
things can you
Figure out probably about
research?
anything. Probably even the things you don't know about. Probably
Well, I
things I
don't know a
don't know.
lot about a guy named Vermont that I'd like to know about, but I don't know if you can get that specific.
Vermont, you said.
Bramot,
Bramot.
Brammot.
Do you have a last name, a lineage, something important?
Do we?
You said no?
Dragony, maybe. Either Dragonborn or Dragony, maybe.
In our ass.
I'm not sure that I would be able to research a person if there's nothing to really research on
But
them. I have a magical tome, but I don't know how much it'll tell me about something so diminutive.
would Countess Marina know more, perhaps?
Mm,
Yes, but
I'm-
I mean, maybe, but that would probably fall under more social skills than intellectual expertise.
Not to mention, I don't exactly know if I'm comfortable, based on our opinion of her. I don't know if I'm comfortable owing her a favor.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I could probably ask and she would do it, depending on how she was acting towards me earlier.
Okay, so it
If you
wasn't
want-
just
This
me
is
who
not-
noticed that.
If you want to throw me to the wolves, that's fine.
She does seem pretty sharp.
Eh,
So she'll probably, wonder why we want all this personal information about this fitness. Because, we're just curious people, right? Curious. No reason in particular. Don't you worry your head about it.
Are you okay with the conversation there? You still having the it's whatever. So we have
I mean,
to
I
ask
give it
or
an old
well,
go with Countess because I fashioned myself as sort of the bodyguard anytime we're out in places.
okay.
But I don't know. In case he ever showed up on our door, I'd like to know what he looks like personally.
Right. All right. Is there any other leads anyone wants me to follow?
I don't know.
I'm
I think
hearing a lot of
at this
silence.
point we're just trying to figure out what the hell attacked who, this dragon,
yeah.
and then I don't know if we haven't really properly told you any background on what we were doing before we met up with you, did we?
Only the slight details I asked about you guys' companionship.
No,
Right.
I think someone did kind of give him a rundown.
With like the bald spot bandits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe Snaps did it in a bit of a catnip
Yes.
induced blur.
Ah.
So he's got a disjointed version.
Right.
Well,
Well,
if you want to give me like a more solid,
yeah, we can give you a deeper rundown and basically I think until whoever's behind all the shenanigans we've experienced in that like first week here arriving Dybrook, I think this whole area, not just Dybrook, but the region will be safer for it. There was some real crazy shenanigans afoot. It's gone real quiet. And when we did not scry. We send messages to the blurry guy, which successfully took. We got responses that were, a little curt and implied that they were still very much active in doing whatever they were doing, and that we just need to stay out of the way, and everybody will be fine. And that's not really our strong suit, I think. Right? But anyways, yeah, we could chat over the fire that I'm envisioning tonight at the homestead. We'll do a little storytelling. We'll give you the full rundown, but Snaps appears to have the Cliff Notes version, as it were.
Of the catnip ramblings.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know that the player has very little information other than the catnip ramblings that have been given to the player. So I'm not sure how much time you want to spend role playing, explaining it to Aste about what's happened and who these people are and what blurry guy means. And I don't know how much time you want to spend doing that in role play, or if you just want to uh
It's fine.
uh
It's
yeah, I mean, the recaps are all in there if you want to just read the recaps. If you look in the handout section, I'm pretty sure all the recaps are in there from recap number 1 through I may have failed to mark these as show to players, so you can ignore this. If it pops up on your screen, you can just close it now. Yeah, I had failed to share these. Show to players, show to everyone, exit. So they are all now in the handout section as available to be viewed by players, I believe. So if you felt like reading up on it, you could read up on it. You could get Gregory to just tell you the story leading up to the first of his videos, and then you could just watch the videos on double speed to get caught up completely that way if you like. It's totally up to you guys how you want to do it.
For the purposes of what it is we're trying to look for, or chase down, or find leads on, is basically any activity that could be traced back to that person or group of people that we had dealt with. It's hard to scry on this person because we didn't have a good read on them. I think I don't know if you've actually tried scrying on them or not. I don't remember. We can always try again. But yeah, considering we just did a loop around the largely populated side of this place, the region of the continent, and we didn't stumble into anything since we were ambushed back in golly, I'm draw like the name.
Ardglass.
Ardglass, yes. Yes, since we were ambushed there, there's no real shenanigans have been sent our way yet since then that I think would imply that
Aside
anyone's
from a
trying
burnt
to.
out theater.
Well, yes, there's the burnt out theater that had a dragon, and then, well, the encounter where we were rescued by a dragon. I mean, things weren't looking great, and there's still plenty of bad guys that survived that encounter that are definitely need to be held to account for all the terror they've sowed in this area. As for the nitty gritty details, that's up to you. But top level, it's essentially we're trying to chase down some sort of gang. I don't know if we've had anything to believe any reason to believe it's anything deeper than just a very ideological, I think, group trying to make things miserable for people here so as to motivate them to change things back to the way things were. I think that's the gist of it. But, as for the very particulars, that's captured
I
in
figure particulars take way too long in the first place. So it's like,
particulars will take a while.
alright. Alright.
And if you're really bored, there's the tracing back through all the YouTube videos and then the handouts and the piecing the story together from all that. But long story short, there's a guy out there. Probably better off if he weren't doing his thing. Whether he's captured and held to justice or otherwise. We just don't know where the bloody guy is. I mean the blurry guy. Sorry. The bloody blurry guy.
At any point, the description of the blurry man or blurry guy is provided. Stay. I'm gonna ask you for an Arcana check real quick.
Yay. I'm good at these. What? Stop laughing.
No, it's funny because it's exactly how I feel anytime we have to do a check that I'm good at.
It's like,
Yay.
the thing! It's the thing I can do!
Yay. Let me see, just make sure, right? I don't think I have. Okay, I don't have enhanced ability, so no advantage. Whatever will I do? Wowie zowie. Okay. 1 sec. Yeah, that's a flat 30.
Yeah.
Oh,
So as
Jesus
they're trying to
Christ.
explain what somebody told them about this guy and everything that they are describing to you, you realize that what they are describing is someone who had cast blur upon themselves before they presented themselves to the person who's trying to describe them.
Okay. Well, I'll let them live in their fantasy a little bit. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I think he's a blurry guy, but you know full
he's a
well that
blurry guy.
this is someone who can cast blur.
Got you.
Whatever that tells you about them is what that tells you about them.
Well, what that tells me is that they are at least a 3rd level caster.
Third level. What?
A 3rd level caster.
Oh.
We also summoned some kind of terrible bone creature that kind of kicked our asses.
Define
Yeah.
terrible bone creature. Can
Big
you give
and
me a
scary,
shape?
and it had a tail and
Humanoid.
wings, I think.
A tail and so like a bone dragon?
I don't know.
Okay.
It
Didn't really
kind
dragony.
and then
I
he did
almost
a cone
died.
of cold or something, and yeah, I almost died too. Yeah,
Well,
a bunch of us
well,
almost.
well, what this sounds like to me is
I'm
like
having a little trouble remembering what they're describing. What are you describing?
The bone
This
devil.
is the fight up in the. This is the fight up in the pass with. Yeah, there was a bone.
Or what was it
creature
called? Chain
devil.
devil or bone chain?
Oh, are we talking about an Oculith?
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh dear.
No
Blurry guy
recollection of this.
summoned something that was like some kind of bony creature. And I
Well,
thought
if
it was
it's
like some kind of bone dragon or bone demon or.
let's say if it's a bone devil, that's an Oculith. Those are pretty high tier, actually.
I'm gonna say that it was a fiend of some sort.
It was
A
a
large
We-
fiend.
Yep, I know exactly what that is.
I think it was a bone devil.
I don't know that that's true.
Or at least the art was for a bone devil.
Yeah, I may have used a bone devil artwork, but this was a generic large fiend.
Okay.
Fiendish
Yeah, when I
spirit,
Google
to be
Bone Devil,
specific.
that's what it.
Yeah, I probably just stole some art from somewhere, but this is a spell called Summon Fiend, and it would have just been a fiendish spirit. I don't see any other summoning spells at his fingertips.
He also did a big bad cold thing, and I, as a player, know that it was Cone of Cold, but Snaps would describe it, and Asta could probably figure it out.
Yeah, so we're dealing with a spellcaster here of some particular prestige, huh? Okay.
And then
Interesting.
there was that sword thing on the top of the cliff, I think, that was floating around. And when I finally wasn't stuck, the Mrs. Stumblepump #2 was trying to climb down the side of the, and that's kind of how I almost died. Was I just kind of like stepped back and hit her with my axe as I was falling. It was really cool when I did it though.
So I, as a player, have already deduced what class this character I've been mentioned to is, and I know what level of caster he can cast so far.
Aste still has some book reading to do.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh, sorry.
Anybody going to describe how Mrs. Stumblepump died?
Oh, yeah,
Um,
he did a thing to her, and
thing?
she died in pain, and he did a magic thing to her, and she died in pain, and we could not save her.
Oh no.
Did she turn into green goo?
Oh. It's been a very long
well,
time.
I don't
Player
know.
is struggling to remember, except that it was distressing.
I think I was
Okay.
half dead at that point.
If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, there were like repeated attempts to heal, but she was just continuing to be hurt.
Yeah.
However, pain.
So they described to you that she began to writhe in pain, and it was excruciating for her, searing pain. And because as she fell to the ground experiencing this pain, he fucked off and disappeared. Whatever may have been expected to happen shortly after her death probably wouldn't have happened because he was no longer there to have what happens after this happen.
Mm-hmm.
But recognizing that this was slow, searing pain that was constant and unrelenting over a period of 6 seconds, that eventually did lead to her death. And what you figured out thus far, you might figure out maybe if he hadn't fucked off, she might have turned into a zombie.
It was a zombie? Ooh.
She might have turned into a zombie at the beginning of his next turn, had he still been around for his next turn.
Oh boy. Oh, that's not terrifying at all.
What spell could that be? See, now you've got me interested in the research.
Yeah.
Please tell me the professor leaves that revelation in his head and does not speak it out loud.
Oh no, I mean,
I'm trying to figure out what classes are allowed to do this particular spell.
I know what spell it is. I think. Yep, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is, in fact. But would I, as a character, know? I don't know.
You did an Arcana check and hit a 30. I'm gonna say pretty much any conversations regarding the blurry guy, you're gonna be able to figure out what you as a player can figure out.
I got
So, what
So
did you just settle on?
So I figured out that the person we are working against is at least a wizard of the seventh circle. He's ridiculously powerful, and the spell he used on this person you're talking about is most likely called Finger of Death.
Well, you've gotten very close.
Is it not right?
Finger of death.
Finger of Death is accurate. Wizardry is not.
What? Wait, but all of the spells that you mentioned are only like. Hold on, let me think. So we talked about Finger of Death. We talked about what was the
Summon
other?
Fiend, Cone
Summon
of Cold.
Fiend. Well, what was the first one?
Summon
Cone of
Fiend.
Cold. Blurry.
Cone of Cold.
Blur. Yeah.
Blur.
Blur.
Wait, so if I cross-reference it. Wait, so he's either sorcerer? I don't think because Blur's not on the warlock list. And if it's not a wizard, the only other thing it could be is a sorcerer.
Is there an item that can make you blur? Maybe?
There's a couple feats that give you second level spells, I think, but nothing else, I don't think. I don't know. But either way, the
Definitely
person
looking at
a
something
powerful
that
caster.
is some combination of warlock / sorcerer.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Oh,
mid-life.
okay. Yeah, I was about to say that's dangerous enough as is, jeez.
But yeah, Finger of Death is gonna be the thing that makes you realize just how big bad this big bad is.
For sure. Yeah, if you see that guy again, run away.
Because it's just point at
That
you
about
and
tracks
drop
based on
drop
what we already
dead.
know.
Well, if we're assuming that he didn't want to give you all his full power, I'm not trying to live in a reality where all of you get hit with a meteor swarm at once and die. So if you see that person again,
what?
run away.
That's a little close to the.
Too
That
soon.
sounds real bad.
Too soon.
Oh yeah. Meteor
Oh
swarm.
no! Oh no!
That's how we
Oh.
all died in Candlekeep last week, just so you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't know the lore. Oh no!
I only know the Arcana. I don't know the lore.
Oh, that's so good. YouTube doesn't get that either. It's fine. Oh no, you just explained it. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you see that person again, you know,
Run away. Flee.
don't interact, don't plead, just run.
Just lay down and die.
Well, one of you might have to save the others.
Ooh.
We'll
But
be
Meteor
careful.
Swarm, yes, it's not a good spell. And assuming that our friend here is a general arcanist, we should be careful.
So in other words, we really got to find this person and stop them.
For now, we really don't want to find this person. You're not strong enough. None of us are. I'm not strong enough. And he says that with like a very serious face.
Dusk starts dropping down and doing push-ups. It's like, all right, we'll get ready. We'll be powerful soon enough.
Eventually, I'd just remain careful for the time being.
Oh joy. Now, what would a guy like that want with Dybrook? I think we sort of established trying to scare people away and make way for the old ways of doing things, perhaps. But why? We still don't really know why. we're assuming that people like this either like power or control or money, but I don't. No offense to Dybrook, it's not exactly you know
Are you
the seat.
asking what that kind of person wants to do with that sort of like energy or whatever? I mean, as a relatively powerful caster myself, the realization is higher goals usually stem for things like immortality, large scale power, land. I mean, it's usually the general this or that, right? I
I
mean,
suppose that makes sense. There's if they can this land. I mean, it's very beautiful land. It's I'd say strategically placed next to this nice river and all, and well, maybe there's more here than meets the eye. I mean, there's that weird place
What
with
was
the
that
ruins to the south.
temple? Yeah,
Right, there's that temple to the south, and so if there's
could
anything like
learn
that that's buried beneath Dybrook, perhaps, or nearby.
some more recent history about like the history of Dragonborn and the town's beginning here, but maybe there's something older.
Yeah, this land was contested at one point, and to a certain extent, technically still is. That's what Lady Stumblepump 2 was all handling. Jeez, so much.
Well, in other words, we got our work cut out for us. So looking sharp while dragons are in the picture are also probably pertinent, but we'll just. I'm not sure we're ready for a dragon either. I'll be honest, but
What did we learn from Mrs. Scaros? That it was a huge in size dragon? Red dragon?
it was the approximately 30 by 30 feet wide as a base.
like Aste will begin like chuckling a little to himself about when they're just talking about red dragons being like really dangerous.
Well, at any rate, we either gotta wait for trouble to find us, or we try to learn if they're active in some way, plotting somewhere. I'm not sure how we know, but
You know, you guys in the material plane are very lucky.
And why is that?
You all have to deal with red dragons and some dragons of yours are even like quite good, right? If I remember rightly, you get along with some of them.
I believe
I-
so, yeah.
In the Astral
Hmm.
Sea, we have solar and lunar dragons, which are, well, solar dragons typically live in suns or stars,
right.
rather. It's a great time to see, uh, but they get a little dangerous when you get close.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that right now.
Guess the
Who's
best thing we
next?
can do right now is look for leads, learn all we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Never know what'll happen. Still gotta go to the theater, right? See what's there. Find out who's rebuilding, and I'll offer my services.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll get to do a blessing on a brand new building. That'd be a new for me.
Well, uh,
Alrighty.
I suppose in other news before we sort of depart and go exploring and or relaxing, I do have a little bit of an announcement.
Maiev is now fully at attention and like vibrating in her seat.
um, long story, relatively brief. Uh, it's it's pretty apparent that I care a deep amount about all of you. I've talked about this with my Ev a couple times at this point, that like I feel personally responsible anytime any of you guys get hurt, because we're all only adventuring together because I requested aid in handling a thing many months ago.
I'm
But
here of my own volition.
yeah, I know you are, and Snaps is also a newer addition. But I'm also aware of the fact that like I don't need to feel personally at fault anytime any of you guys get hurt, because at this point I think if I wanted to get rid of any of you fuckers I couldn't. You know what I mean?
You're stuck with us.
Yeah,
Dust just claps him on the back.
we're kind of stuck
We're
with
like
each other.
some sort of illness that always comes back.
Yeah. But to that end, in particular, and he just kind of gestures towards Snaps. I've felt a particular closeness with that lovely person over there, and we talked about it a little bit, and we've decided to at least try going steady for a little bit and see how that goes.
And my Ev
And
is
Snaps
just
doesn't
gonna
say
like,
anything, but she's looking at Foggy with an affectionate bemusement because she doesn't maybe understand the reason for an announcement, but it seems important to Foggy. So she's just chill about it.
And Dusk, I think, will just could we like clap them both on the back? It's like, oh, that's so adorable. Is this why you've been sleeping in the same bed like that night back down
Yeah.
a couple nights ago?
Yeah.
Oh, and you let me into your room?
We didn't do anything.
Don't get them
We all
pregnant. You
sleep in the
can't
dome,
adventure if
bro.
you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, cheese and crackers. The dome is a beautiful place to sleep. I wouldn't have cared.
I
I'm
know,
okay.
I know.
Oh, you're just adorable, both of you. Really glad. I'm happy for you.
Dang you.
I show
You first.
I show my congratulations, but I don't know enough about material plane relationships to know what to say here, so.
I mean, I don't know. Congratulations is in order. It's not like they won a competition, but it's still nice that people are finding happiness in the world, right?
Yeah.
Wherever they can find it.
my Ev is just like smiling ear to ear.
Yeah.
Rasa just looks at him and says, "Don't fuck it up."
Oh, trust me. I from like 15 different angles, that's the main thing going on in my head is fucking it up in ways that you probably aren't even thinking of.
Don't do that.
Do you think I want to?
At some point
She just
during
ruffles Foggy's hair.
at some point during this exchange, Gilly's gonna float over from the food service area and put down a glass of tea in front of whoever's been drinking tea, a glass of juice in front of the little dwarven girl, and then slip behind Foggy and just reach up over his head with both hands from behind and loop a silver chain around his neck and clasp it in the back and let go. And you'll feel the weight of a teardrop shaped pearl land against your chest.
I'm gonna
And they'll
glance
wander
down
off
and
to the kitchen.
okay. I'm just looking at it for a minute.
It's
Does
just
it
very
just look
pretty.
like a really nice piece of jewelry, or
Yeah, just a really pretty piece of jewelry.
I'm just gonna throw a thank you in the general direction, and I will probe them and ask a question about it later. But for now, they're clearly also working. Well, yeah. In terms of like, I don't know if cost benefit analysis is the angle with which I should be saying that. Um, I don't need
Oh,
my
that's
own
a good
separate
word.
room anymore in our house, so Aste can just move into my old space. That was realistically
Yeah,
mine
but
for what, 3
Sammy,
sleeps?
Yeah.
Sammy still needs a room. We're gonna need to build another war room because Sammy needs a room too.
Yeah. But in terms of the right now figuring out how to get Aste a place to sleep in our home, we can give him my room.
If you are forgetting, neither of us sleep.
I know, but it's still nice to
It's
have
You
a
one.
should have
space.
your own space,
It's a place
like,
that
for your
when the
books
world gets a
and
little much, you can go
doohickeys.
retreat to it, right?
Mm, um, I didn't know that would
Your
make you
safe
all go
space,
fucking worried. My bad.
your sanctum. Your
I
home
I
away from home.
apologize for upsetting the entire room with that remark.
No, you didn't upset us. It's just you
We're
provided a point.
learning.
We're
It's
counterpointing.
okay.
Quite an
And
emotional
also,
counterpoint.
yeah, you're not wrong. Also, for the record, uh, I, I it's not that this is also kind of above table. It's not that we don't sleep. It's that we prefer not to, and we would prefer to trance. I do genuinely sleep sometimes. It is weird,
I know.
but
He said
but
don't need to, rather
yeah,
not don't want to, but
yeah. I do
same
sleep
point.
sometimes. It's just
Right.
it is weird, but I do sleep sometimes, and it is nice.
It's weird, but it's nice. Okay. That must be an elf thing.
Tis. I know a great many elves that literally tried sleep once and could not gain restfulness from it because dreams are weird. So they just outright
You're
refuse.
you are telling that to the person from the plane of dreams.
I'm telling that to the person who was confused as to whether or not it was an elf thing, and then he points to
Oh,
Maeve.
well, you can
I
imagine.
mean,
It's pretty
Yeah,
rough.
I'm sure dreams from a person who's been in a place that I couldn't even begin to comprehend, I'm sure are terrifying. So I'm not even going to ask you.
Remember the space clowns?
The what?
Hmm.
the what? No, no, that sounds bad. That
Yeah, you
sounds
know
real
what? No,
bad.
never
I'm
mind.
already
Forget I asked.
confused.
Where is my... I gotta redo this. Sorry.
How's the is if the countess is still at the table with us, how is she reacting to Aste referring to the weirdness of the astral sea and the space clowns specifically?
The Countess is hanging on every word and just enamored. And doesn't matter what the words mean, it's just music to her ears. Just
Got
utter fascination and uh, beguiled.
it. Alrighty.
How are you so fast? How are you so fast? God damn it. That one in particular I have to show to YouTube.
It's pretty great.
Are you so fast? Very good.
Love it. I'm kind of creeped out by the beguiledness because these are my children here. Um, I am the party mom, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm gonna try to get the countess's attention and say, uh, how long are you guys staying in town again?
Um, and she's kind of eyeballing Aste out of the corner of her eye and looks back to you and says, I imagine I mean, we do have to be back in time for the answering, but um, and the Audreys are making a necklace for me, so that'll be ready day after tomorrow. We should probably leave day after tomorrow.
Okay,
And
but
as
not
she says,
not
day
tomorrow.
after tomorrow, her eyes are straight on us. Day after tomorrow.
Okay, okay, okay. And I'm just gonna let her go back to her weird staring at the professor, and just kind of be like, okay, okay, cool, 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 cool. And I'm gonna go over, scooch next to the other one whose name is somewhere in the chat here
Jocelyn,
from ages ago. Jocelyn,
Jocelyn,
was that what you
yeah,
said?
Jocelyn the maid.
Jocelyn. Jocelyn the maid. So I'm gonna scooch over next to her and go, hey, so I got some stuff, and it's just a couple little things, and I think LaSalle would like them. So before you guys leave, just try to help me out and make sure that I can give her just a couple, just a couple little things. But they're at home.
I'm sorry, you have gifts for LaSalle? That's that's
Yeah.
that's really neat. That's lovely. Uh, you have no idea how much that will mean to her. A gift from anyone other than the Countess or I or Yaren is uh, uh, it'll mean a lot.
And she's like trying to mask the somewhat angry confusion, and just like, okay, yeah, it'll probably mean just as much to me for reasons and things. And she's just kind of like rubbing her eye, and like one of the eyes is twitching a little bit because this child has never received love from anyone but these three people. Okay, okay.
She's lived. Did you say any of that bit out loud?
Mm,
Given any hint
well,
that given any hint that you're assuming the child has never been loved, she's going to backpedal and oh wait, no, it's just that she's lived a sheltered life with us and on much travel and hasn't really established any formal bonds with anyone other than the three of us. Is all. It's just that uh,
okay.
Countess Marina travels extensively and she
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have much opportunity to develop lasting relationships outside of our little cluster of family. And she pronounces the word
Okay.
family kind of awkwardly, like we're a family-ish unit.
Family-ish unit. Um, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know, I mean, before Muff founded Equinshire, it makes sense. Eh, yeah, I can see how with the constant moving, the people that you're constantly moving with is kind of all you know. Yeah, I guess she lets the anger and tension ease
Oh,
as
good.
she's working through this out loud. I guess, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I got some stuff for the little one. I don't. I've had it for a while. It's safe, and she's just the right size, age, age and size for. It'll be fine. It'll be great. It's gonna be fantastic.
Would you like me to bring her by the homestead? I'm sure I could get Yaren to bring us.
Uh, yeah, that would that would that'd be. Hey guys, would it be cool if they came to the homestead for just a little bit? Just these two. Well, and Urine, I guess.
I leave that one up to Lady Rossiter.
Whatever. I don't have issues with her. She is just carrying a message from my folks. That's all.
Okay, just
The folks I have issues with.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Plus, urine's already been. But yes, of course, you're welcome. More the merrier. We'll be having a grand fire tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Let's plan on that.
I had DM forgotten that you all left Samity back at the house when you charged over to the Peasley this morning. So Samity technically hasn't met Gilly.
Shit.
I totally forgot that she was back at the house
So
with
did
the
I.
boys. Yeah.
Shit. Okay. We'll figure that out later.
Okay.
We'll bring Samity to the Peasley eventually. She's gotta meet Gilly.
Cool.
Then I'll just lean over and ask LaSalle. Because I don't know how long it takes to make cheese. But have you ever seen a cow and two goats at the same time?
Well, are they special cows and goats? Or just cows and goats? I've seen
They're
a lot of cows and
cheese
goats.
They're
They make
cheese making
cheese?
cows and goats.
I
Sort of.
would like to see a
With
cow make cheese.
well, Samity helps them make the cheese. And I don't know how long it takes.
Is Samity one of the goats?
No. And she's just full belly laugh at that one. No. Sorry. Samity's our other friend. She's at home right now with the cow and the goats.
Oh, I've seen lots of cows and goats. Goats are funny.
Okay.
They pee on their own heads.
They do what now?
They pee on their own heads.
That
Don't pet them on the head.
okay.
Don't pet boy goats
Don't
on
pet
the
them
head.
on the head.
Don't pet boy goats on the head.
Okay. That's good. That's good stuff right there to know because I didn't know that. Oh
They're funny.
wow. Oh man. Oh man. That yep. Funny is a word for that. Funny is a word for that. Well, you guys are gonna come see our house, and you can see the goats and the cow. And I think Dusk said we're gonna do a big fire, so we'll just make dinner or something when you guys come over. Is that cool?
That would be fun. I would like that very
Awesome.
much. Can I have potatoes?
Sure,
I like
we can
potatoes.
make that happen.
I like
We
potatoes a
can
lot.
make that happen.
Great.
Tootle back over to Snaps. Do we have potatoes, or do I need to get potatoes before we get back home?
I think you might need to get potatoes. We got trees with fruit, and we got goats and a
You
cow.
have two young men at home who love to cook. You probably
That's
have
true. We might
potatoes
have
in the pantry.
potatoes. They're
You
a
can never
staple.
have
Okay,
too
we
many
probably
They
have
probably keep a
potatoes.
pretty well stocked pantry.
can never have too
Like,
many
they were probably making hash
potatoes.
browns with breakfast this morning. Yeah, we got potatoes.
Oh yeah, they did. There was potatoes. Yeah, we got potatoes. Oh my lord, the outside dogs are going absolutely bonkers.
Crazy dogs, crazy dogs. At some point, as the conversations continue and the potato discussion ensues, Gilly will reappear at the table with a glass of water for Foggy and a little tray of fruit for the little girl, and just puttering around like they do, and will, uh, with a quick high speed movement, um, their hands sort of flutter around Snap's left arm. And when they walk away, Snaps will notice that she's got a very fine uh, silver bracelet that is decorated with a green stone looking very much like the one that Gilly wears between the eyes, and 2 pearls on either side of it. Just a little basic chain, silver chain bracelet situation.
Snaps is just confused and grateful and doesn't know what to say. And I guess Gilly probably leaves before Snaps even is able to respond. And
Oh
she
yeah,
just
Gilly
kind of
dances
looks
off. La
looks
la
down
la
on
la
it,
la.
quite pleased. Thank you.
One might think that, Maiev.
Well, I thought the barking had ceased for a moment, but I was wrong.
Hmm.
Is there any chance that Maya witnessed both of those instances of Gilly doing things?
Yeah, Gilly was definitely not hiding their actions, just matter of facty doing it like, oh, this is needed now. Here we go. And then had to go back to their room to do something and then came back and this is also needed, and just sort of does it because it's necessary and wanders off.
Yep.
It was as
So,
necessary as delivering glasses of juice and coffee and water. It was just part of the morning
okay,
service, you know.
okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I think she'll mumble that sort of to herself upon seeing that it occurred. Just, I think Gilly just officiated a hand casting. Or, well, she wouldn't say officiated because she's got an intelligence of 8. She knows what she's doing, but she doesn't know
You're
words.
you're
Uh,
yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say you're married though. You might know the term officiated.
I'm a what?
You're married, are you not?
Yeah,
Yeah. Maiev
right.
would know the word officiated of all. That's probably the biggest word she knows. But Maiev knows that word.
Yeah, that is probably the biggest. That is, yeah. We're gonna say that. Yeah, that tracks. Uh,
Yeah.
But
I
would she
think
know that
Gilly
word in
just
common?
officiated it.
Oh,
Maybe.
that's honestly a
Yeah,
fair point.
probably.
Okay, all right.
may-
Yeah.
uh,
I think she just. I think Gilly just that officiated a hand casting at breakfast. Okay, all right, cool. Just mumbling to herself as she's, making sure that the child's hair isn't getting in her face while she's eating her fruit. Mm, mm, what else was there was a thing. Sorry, the splitting headache that I've had for 3 days is making it very difficult for me to recall the things I wanted to do.
Wait, what's a V card?
Virginity.
Oh.
Christ.
Well,
Well, this has been a lovely long breakfast. What are y'all gonna do now? You're gonna go check out the currently
theater.
under construction Southern Theater?
Sounds good to me.
Yes, yes, that was the thing we were doing today.
So
Sounds good to me as
you
well.
make your way out and across the road. Actually, if I remember correctly, the theaters are kind of behind the Peasley. Let me look. No, literally just next door. So you go out the front of the Peasley and turn left and find yourselves at what is the remains of the Southern Theater pretty quickly. Um, yeah. So the place is clearly been burnt out, and there are no less than 15 people of varying levels of burly uh, sawing and chopping and assembling uh, wooden structures. They've gotten the area cleared out completely. The remains of the stage that seemed to survive has been repaired, and the seating area with like bleachers is being reconstructed. So you can see the basic framing is pretty much complete, and they're currently working on putting in like bench seating and the awning that goes over the top 5 or 6 layers of the bleachers.
I think Dusk
Yep.
would just sort of wander the perimeter, keeping an eye out for anything that might have been helpful to understanding anything about the dragon.
The damage that you can see uh, seems to have been uh, uniquely, like in a line, not uniquely, but in a straight line that traveled through the theater from one side to the other and spread almost that had based on the amount of um, structure that's been removed that is being rebuilt. You can see through the framing that Stumblepump's office on the other side, that would have been behind the theater bleachers, is still standing, although a little bit scorched. You can assess that it was an aimed, targeted strike. It was not wild in any way. It clearly was this is where I'm going to lay down this path of fire where the most people will see it. But it wasn't like a battle had occurred, but a single strike of fire that was thrust upon this theater in a drive-by fashion.
So, if this damage wasn't to destroy per se. It wasn't to fight. It wasn't to. It was about sending a message, basically. Yeah.
The unoccupied theater. Yep.
Right.
It's
So it's
not
almost
theater
like the
season,
dragon.
so yeah, would have
The
been nobody in
dragon.
there. But it
The
is
dragon
one of the
wanted.
three big structures in town.
Right. The dragon wanted to get people's attention and scare people. Not kill anybody per se. Right. So this was done very calculatedly then.
Was it the Southern Theater that we kind of had that town meeting, and that's where Mrs. Stumblepump number 2 had her little outburst and disappeared?
That is correct.
Huh.
I think that's the only thing Snaps really knows about the Southern Theater.
So this was the place that was like almost like a makeshift town hall when needed.
It was the first and only town hall this town's ever had.
Right. Well. Hmm.
And Mrs. Scaros did report that on the day there were some injuries, but it wasn't like they were able to manage those injuries within a day, and there were no fatalities.
Hmm. Well, a dragon who wanted to scare the right people without killing them.
Hey, Snaps. West, you're the one who writes
Yeah.
the recaps. Did
Eh.
your recap include words that were spoken on the day of the attack?
That was before I started writing the recaps, but I think you did include it. One sec. It was looking for something. It said, "Where is?" And then Mrs. Scaros's message cut off. There was another one. Where is it? It was asking, "Where is it?"
Okay.
According to Mrs. Scaros.
So somebody might want to remind Dusk of that
Oh, right.
bit of the thing that happened.
Where is it? So we're looking for something and wanted to basically get people's attention to hear it so that people will be like, here's everything because we don't know what you want. So we'll give you everything. Hmm.
Is
As you're perusing the area, the various construction dudes and ladies are just working away, just sawing and hammering and wielding all the tools. Hyper focused on the job at hand, not really paying a lot of attention to looky-loos. They're just trying to get this job done. They're working hard for the money they're being paid. They are very responsible folks.
does anyone seem to be in charge, like a foreman or something, of the goings on?
Not really. They're all just working together to get a job done. There doesn't seem to be anyone barking orders per se. They're all getting in there, getting their hands dirty equally.
Snaps will just kind of shake herself out of it and then go to ask somebody who seems like they know about the goings on. Just um, make some quick conversation about, hey, what what was done with the debris of the original theater?
Oh, well, all the wood stuff's been burnt. And they point off to the east, and you can see where the trail of blackened grass is, where that leading up to where the theater is. You can see where the trail of fire started just outside the theater and crossed through the theater, and they point sort of over in that direction, where there is one clearly large circular-ish area that you imagine there was a bit of a bonfire done. The wood
Snaps is
materials were
gonna
all burnt out over that way, and pretty much anything else that wouldn't burn has been buried right next to there. You know, if it wasn't
okay.
salvageable.
Snaps is gonna go poke around over there, just like leave questioning to other people, and she's gonna go poke around at the burn pile. Just long shot, but just on the off chance
Yep.
she finds
Maya
anything
was
interesting.
going to come with you.
So let's have an investigation check from one of you, adding the other one's bonus on to it. So
Well,
one
my
roll,
I
both
bonus
got a
is
bonuses.
+0.
only 3.
So one roll plus Maev's bonus since Snaps doesn't have one.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna bless myself and then start digging around. I deal with dead things. I dig graves and stuff, right? Okay. Okay, not
Can I
bad.
give her
And
advantage
you,
if I
what is
use
your
Sound of Secrets?
Well,
your
you already know there's not going to be any secret having happened, because secret would be something someone intentionally hid. And these people
Oh,
very
shit.
openly told you where they burned and buried shit.
what was your modifier,
I'm
Maya?
still gonna use 3. I'm still gonna use a charge of it anyway, because you never know.
19. I got a 19 investigation.
Cool. You are poking around in the ashes. There are some bits and bobs that just didn't burn completely. It's clear that there's some bits of fabric that maybe had been part of an awning or something that just stubbornly didn't burn. Um, Mostly it's ash and charred wooden bits and bobs. In the area that's been sort of covered over with dirt and ash, um, you might find little melted, damaged bits of, uh, a hinge here that's been melted. Um, Maybe what looks like it could have been a handle to a gate or a door that might have blocked off a section of the bleachers. Just little melted bits of metal and other things that you might think are uh, discarded debris that maybe was never cleaned up from under the bleachers that people maybe dropped when they were seated in the bleachers, personal trinkets and items, uh, a leather satchel, just little things, wallets, a pair of shoes, maybe, just stuff that didn't burn completely or wouldn't burn normally and melted.
Yeah.
And those bits have been scraped out of the ashes and buried here. Um, I rolled and I rolled a 1, so I'm thinking you don't find anything of any real value, except,
It's okay.
that it's melted bits of metal.
Like I said, it was a long shot, but
Yeah.
okay. My curiosity is satisfied.
You can assess that it was extremely hot fire because shit's melted.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't be able to tell what may have been scorched by dragon fire versus just a really hot bonfire.
Bonfire, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'll leave it.
And honestly, even if I had rolled better than a 10, I still don't know what you would have found. There certainly wasn't a battle of any kind, so there wouldn't be any dragon scales.
God.
I don't know. I shed hair everywhere, so
Me too.
Hmm.
At some point, if you've dawdled here long enough, Stunble Pump will pop out of his little office and come strolling in to check on how things are going and greet you. And oh, it's good to see you all made it back to town. It's
Uh-huh.
you know, things have been better, but we're doing all right. We've gotten some great help here. I've gotten word that I've got several more workers coming in from Salt End Landing that should be here sometime in the next couple of days. We're going to get this all set up well, good in time for the next theater season. It's going to be lovely.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Foley clan is starting to fade. Just as a heads up.
Yep. Knowing that everybody has to get up an extra hour early. So
It
here's what
doesn't
I'd like
help.
to do.
Hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like anybody had any real goals or intentions for these 2 days remaining here in town before I set off on the next story beat. So if you'd like, what we can do is do tomorrow morning and day 59 and day 60 morning scry. Just so that I have some idea of how things are going over the next 2 days. And then we could just start the next session on the morning of the day that Marina and her party are headed out. And we can
Days
So
just
we
say,
had dinner and a bonfire.
so yeah, you had dinner and a bonfire tonight, and you gave LaSalle some stuff that I will allow you to tell us what that is before we shut down for the night. And then Marina would have just flirted violently with Aste any opportunity that she had, but there really isn't a whole lot else to have happen. At this point, if you want, I can have Gilly show up at the bonfire so she can meet Samity. You know, we can just say these things happened and do the scry rolls and then just move on with the morning of day 61 when we get back. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure. We can kind of just.
I'm
Cool.
like a short candle keep downtime.
Yeah.
Broad strokes.
I'm proud to admit that Aste probably wouldn't even notice that he's being flirted with.
Mm-hmm. She just pays unnecessary attention to you all the time, and you think that's weird. Okay, so if I could have the morning scry, I can't remember what that roll is.
Wisdom.
Wisdom saving throws, great. Day 59, so the morning after this little excursion to the theater would be Dusk and Rasa.
Coming right up.
19 for Rasa.
And wisdom plus 9. 21 for Dust.
Cool. And then the next morning it will be Snaps and Foggy.
On it.
How fitting! How
I
fitting
rolled
it's those two.
garbage.
Specifically.
Yeah.
I rolled garbage and got a 12.
I also got a 12.
All right, break it up, you two.
Stop holding
Okay.
God
dice
almighty.
hands.
Alrighty. So yeah, Maya, do you want to tell us what your exchange with Lascelles looked like?
Yeah. So we did dinner. The boys made their wonderful dinner with like probably 6 different kinds of potato when they were told that the child likes potato. And then while we're doing the bonfire, Mayo sneaks off inside and goes to her room and goes to the little chest at the foot of her bed and pulls out the cloak of childlike wonder, the child's first hand axe, and the pewter circlet that she got from somewhere and put in this chest because I
Mm-hmm.
believe circlets are a over the head thing.
Yep.
Okay, so she's gonna come back out and um just kind of hunker down next to LaSalle and go with the stuff like hiding behind her back, and she goes, "Okay, I got some stuff," and then she like whips it to the front of her real quick, all like it was supposed to look like a magic trick kind of thing. Um, and she goes, "First, there's this," and she puts the circlet on the girl's head, and I'm pretty sure it's a normal standard circlet, so I have no idea if it's gonna end up being a necklace on this girl or not.
She's a dwarf. It might be a little too big and like rest on her ears, but she could make it work. Or like a
Okay,
headband, at the base of her skull around to the top.
cool, 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 cool.
She could make it work.
So there's
Jocelyn will
this.
help braid it into her hair.
There we go.
It's
That's for you. And then she's gonna hand her the hand axe first, and she goes, "No, no, no. We gotta be careful, and we gotta get you some training. But every little girl needs a hand axe." And so she's gonna hand her the child's first hand axe, and there's stats and stuff on it. The coolest part is that it flashes blue and shouts, "Congratulations, you got him!" if you make a successful hit. And if you miss, it flashes yellow and says, "Whoops, you missed."
That's fabulous. Don't remember that. I love it.
All the while
I
that
don't
one is
remember where we got
with
this from.
her, Rasa has telepathically gone into Marina, whoever else showed up, and go, "I tried to dissuade her with the hand axe, but she just does what she wants."
And
And
Marina
then
will
she
respond. Marina will respond to you that Yiren will take care of it. He'll get her
and
properly
then
trained. Not to worry.
and she probably did like shoot a glance at Urine when she said training is gonna be necessary, but and then she's like, "And this one," and she like waves the cloak around just a little like fanfare, and then she like puts it around her shoulders and ties it. This one has magic. Quick,
Have
quick, quick,
magic?
quick, quick, quick. Close your eyes.
Okay. And I squeeze tight, squeeze them tight closed.
She's invisible. Um.
Does she become visible as soon as she opens her eyes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So as
Did it
she's got
work?
her eyes closed, I mean, it says you have to attune to it, but
Hmm. Okay.
I just realized it said you have to attune to it. So she's gonna be like, "Okay, so it didn't work that time, but if you keep it on, and you think about it a lot for like probably like a good 10 minutes. Just sit there with it and think about it real hard. The next time you try to close your eyes while you have it on, you disappear.
Oh, where do I go?
You're still here. We just can't see you. You turn invisible.
Uh, But then, how do you brush my hair?
Well,
How's
you've
your...
got to do that after you brush your hair. And then as soon as you open your eyes again, we can see you again.
Oh, so I'm visible when my eyes is closed. So if you can't see me, if I can't see you,
Yep.
that's pretty neat. Oh, I'm gonna win hide and seek every time. And she gets up
Yes,
and
you
starts
are.
running around and celebrating. I'm gonna win hide and seek every time. She's pretty excited about that. And maybe Maid is not as excited about losing at hide and seek every time. All right, cool. Somewhere along the line, also, Gilly will show up and be introduced to Samity, and they will get along famously. And given an opportunity, or if anyone were to corner Gilly to ask, they would respond that it is just traditional to present gift when mated pair has found each other.
Oh, thank you.
Something like you deserve all the happiness, or some sort of well-wishing statement that they spit out as if they've said it a million times.
Snaps doesn't know what to say beyond thank yous, but is Gilly maybe the kind of person who would accept a hug? Who
Oh,
likes hugs?
definitely.
Okay. Yeah, Snaps is very much sometimes not a
And
wordy person, but she's good.
yeah, and Foggy is in fact waiting behind her for his turn.
All the hugging and, oh, you're not hungry anymore.
Yeah, that tracks.
Cool.
Love it,
Alrighty.
love it, love it.
So we will begin the next session on the morning of day 61. Oh, unless anybody had any nighttime shit they want to do, we could start at the end of day 60. If anybody needs nighttime role playing stuff before you go to bed.
Leave room in the roll and in the recap for if anybody thinks of something between now and the next session.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I'm fine for now. We might talk between sessions, but I think I'm fine for now.
Ow, oh, all the things hurt. Underneath
I
Sorry, all the
suppose
things are hurting.
I suppose we can all say goodbye to YouTube then.
Say goodbye to
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah.
Sorry it was a short
Bye,
session.
Bye,
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'll.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.